I think once the dust settled and you come home from it and you realize that you're only 8 minutes away, from beating a team that went on to win the national championship. So in a sense, I was glad Pfeiffer did win the national championship to prove the point to these guys that, you were that close. A little bit more hard work and a little bit of luck here and there. It became a massive motivation for the entire program.
That was a big moment for our team when we actually knew that we could actually do this and how close we actually were at that moment in time.
We all know how close we got to kind of beating Pfeiffer last year.
After the defeat to Pfeiffer, that was when we knew we were there or thereabouts and we could go all the way.
We faced them, we put a very tough game against them, and that gave us hope for the next year, in terms of coming in pre-season to looking forward to the 2016 season. We knew we could win.
It certainly was a huge motivating factor for us going forward with our preparation over the next 8 months to get ourselves ready so that we could get ourselves back into that situation again.
I think that game kind of changed a lot of mindsets in people, where it realised it gave everyone a little bit of a boost in the off season just to work that little bit harder, because they knew we could do it, and we were so close to doing it that year.
No one really knew what position or if you even had a spot in the starting lineup. The competitiveness in preseason was the best it's ever been.
Coming into the team, I spoke with Coach, and he said that the quality of players that we had here was a national championship caliber team. So it was just a matter of getting on the field and executing.
It was the first time, at least since I've been here, that I've seen a full cohesion of everybody from top to bottom.
I think everyone was excited about this season. After what happened last season, especially for the returners, we were ready to get back at Pfeiffer, and we knew that we had one goal in mind, was to get back in the NCAA tournament and to possibly win a national championship.
Looking back and say, well, this year was our year. This is the opportunity and we can do that.
And there just seemed to be a bit more depth to the entire team with the freshmen also that came in. So I think we felt we were 15, 16 strong at this point.
It was a good experience over them couple of days, where I think everyone kind of felt more comfortable with each other afterwards, obviously staying in the hotel, spending more time together.
That gave us a very good advantage to see, we're here, we know each other, let's make that feeling, let's unite together, and then let's face this upcoming season.
Being together for those 4 days, even though we didn't get both the games in like we wanted to, it certainly helped bring a lot of the players together. It was very good, I think, for a lot of the new players.
Being in that caliber of a tournament was massively important, and I think it set the tone for us to see exactly where, we wanted to be or needed to be. I think some of the adversity that weekend sort of helped us out, with the weather delays and things like that. And I mean, we came away from it feeling pretty confident.
To sneak past the defense before it's taken by Soleil. Now to the edge of the box for Ander. Ander into the box, fires into the back of the net, and John Ander wins it here in overtime for the Bulldogs.
I think everyone's confidence level was very high. Everyone was very confident. And going into any match, everyone just forgets about everything and focuses on that during the whole day.
From the beginning of the season, just seeing the way we kind of gelled together from the start, it let me know that I was on a special team.
Low cross into the box. Elma and 4 slides in, and Wingate's on the board.
It was definitely one game at a time, and since so many people were scoring, then that definitely kept the coaching staff on their toes, and it was hard for them to actually pick the best 11 every single time.
A low chance for Callum Ross, and he finishes from deep. Takes a shot, and Ander finishes beautifully from the corner of the 18.
For every game, Rossi, Pablo, myself would tell all the boys we'd take it a game at a time, which is why we done so well in conference.
Back into the box, Callum Ross finishes.
all sat around and we all said one game at a time, don't get ahead of ourselves.
Every team was coming here and they were trying to play their best game.
I just was obviously trying to tell the boys, like, look, we're doing really well. We have to take it a game at a time. Like, every team talk that I kind of spoke in was always just like, right, we've got 90 minutes ahead of us, don't think about anything else.
Played up to the edge of the box, 4-4, past a defender, makes a move, and there it is.
If we try to think in the future, in the long-term games, we're going to get distracted of our main objective, that is winning the conference.
Our goal was to obviously win the conference however we could, get ourselves into the national tournament however we could.
There was a lot of people that went around and said, oh, like, congrats on the season, or congrats on, like, you still winning, like, what's going on? Like, something's working. So I just kind of tried to back away from those questions and just kind of focused on, you know, game after game, and I tried to concentrate on what game was coming up next.
We were the #1 team in the nation, and we can lose to anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. So we had to keep fighting every day in practice, every next game, just keep fighting and dig through.
The further on we went, it was just thinking how much greater, you know, can we make this season? Like, how much more can we achieve?
Kind of away from the dressing room, I said to Axel, I says, I've got like a good feeling about this, and I can just feel momentum, and I think that's what kind of sprung Fife out of the national championship the year before, was just they had the look on their side, they had the rub of the green.
A coaching perspective, you know, you don't like not learning how to lose, you know, but we find ways to win games that we may not have dominated early in the season.
Like, in the back of my mind, we had the Tusculum game in my head, because obviously they were doing really well themselves. But I think LR always causes us a few problems, and especially going away to LR is always quite difficult. So I think that grinding that result out, 1-0, obviously Axel getting a late goal, I think it was just another little step to go on the whole way, because I think it showed like really good character and a little bit of fighting determination that you need. And
you know, I felt that was a turning point for us, because the determination then was that the pressure was on. You know, we'd been #1 in the country for 2 or 3 weeks maybe, you know, so that we'd gotten over that hurdle.
Team to play against. We saw why just now. Easily working it around the back through the opposition.
Ander gets the through ball from Jewell, leaves it off, across now, into the box. Axel Jewell finishes.
And that is one of the best team goals that you will see all season. Absolutely perfect build-up, precise passing, great movement, and what a finish.
They worked really, really hard for 8 months up until that season. They took care of themselves during the season. All those sorts of little things that sometimes you forget about. They were really, really focused, so all the credit, without a question of a doubt, it goes to the players in there.
A matter of job well done, but you know, it was a conversation of enjoy it for a couple of days, and then it's time to move up and move on and get ready for the SAC tournament.
It was obviously the first game of the tournament, and they're coming to our place, and they were obviously underdogs for this whole thing.
So here we go, the 2016 SAC tournament underway from Wingate. Stats as there's a giveaway and a goal, and Brevard takes the lead.
the one thing is, I think everyone kind of took the game a little bit lightly, and I think that was the biggest downfall.
That was the only game we ever overlooked our opponent this year was Brevard.
Can Turner come up with the save of his life? Yes, he can.
you calm down and you face yourself. You know, we're not invincible. You know, we're not unbreakable.
This situation helped to everyone to point our feet on the floor. We say from now we have to know, and we are not the best team in this country yet.
Everyone was disappointed. Obviously, we had that goal of winning every game throughout the season.
It was a game which I feel like we shouldn't have lost, and we lost it. So it was very upsetting. Like emotionally, it killed us a little bit.
It definitely brought us down to earth. Put our feet back on the ground.
It's just, so far it's been an unbelievable ride, personally, just because I never envisioned that I could be part of such an amazing, experience. After that game, I knew there was more to be done. I mean, it wasn't it for us.
We knew that it wasn't over, and the feeling that we had after losing to Brevard was something that we didn't want that to happen.
It was a long break, gave us time to recover, gave us time to really think about the next steps moving forward.
That almost 2-week period that we had off allowed everybody to get recovered and get themselves prepared physically and mentally for the task that lay ahead of us.
The anxious feeling of wanting to play again was starting to build, I think, after 5 or 6 days.
Getting them motivated and back up for it. It was a long layover, but we purposely made sure that something every day was done geared towards that.
It was kind of a little bit of a blessing, getting them 2 weeks off, but it helped a lot when we played Limestone, who obviously had a busier schedule within that time period.
It felt like a new season nearly. Like we had a good break, and I think everyone's legs came back, everyone's minds was back, and went into the game really focused, and I think it showed.
From the Wingate Soccer Complex in Wingate, North Carolina, it's Southeast Region semifinal matchup between the Wingate Bulldogs and the Limestone Saints.
The team, myself included, very nervous after lost the first game in the year.
I think the nerves were a little higher during the Limestone game just because we know what they have and they know what we have.
We were very nervous, to be honest. You go into nationals, you lost the game before against Brevard.
No score through 45, rain falling down here at Pride Park. It's halftime between Wingate and Limestone.
We knew at half-time, we said, look, they've given the best that they've got and we haven't even started yet. And we knew that if we just kept pushing and probing and playing our football, chances would come, and thankfully they did.
Little nervous with the layover, and I think it showed in the first half against Limestone, and I don't think the second half there was no doubts in my mind. We were the far better team.
Slows it down now. Ross fires, and Ross scores, leaving it up for Wingate, and they're on the board.
After Rossi scored that goal in the second half, I remember just yelling out, like everything just came out, all the emotions just came out of, we are back.
One again with Hibbert, gets past him once more, Ander into the box, past another defender, Ander scores! What a move by John Ander.
You could tell in that Limestone game, we dominated that game. We took over.
Ander gets it back, Ander with a touch past the defense, Purvis comes flying out, Ander chips it up, and Ander gets another one.
Couldn't have written it any better. They've got a chance at redemption, falling to Pfeiffer last year in the NCAA tournament. The stage has been set. We're excited, and we got a huge heavyweight matchup coming next weekend.
We're going to face the games of our lives, that is against Pfeiffer. That was the main objective of our team, to face Pfeiffer again. And we needed to win over Limestone, and we did it.
This was our motivating factor from 12 months ago, that our motivation was to have them here at home in front of our crowd.
Them 4 days, I think everyone was just that extra little bit focused, extra bit motivated, just that this night was going to be huge and we had to get the job done.
I think the whole team was buzzing, even in training, it was fast-paced, people were going in hard, and you could tell that everybody was up for it.
The build-up to the game, the week before, just the build-up through then, and then coming to the locker room, all the boys getting in the locker room, it wasn't like a normal game.
I said to our team, we need to be together. Don't try to imagine a lot of things. Just be calm, and once the time comes, face them, because now they're in disadvantage and they play in our field. We're not losing on our field.
I can't really describe the feeling that I had. Going into the game, I was nervous. I'm always nervous before games, but this one was possibly the biggest one of my career.
To know that we were gonna get that chance, it's not often in life you get a rematch, or you get a redo, so to speak. So to get that opportunity, and just the feeling sitting in the locker room, knowing that in a couple of minutes we're gonna be battling out there with one of the biggest, one of the best teams in the country, was an amazing feeling.
Good evening and welcome to Pride Park in Wingate, North Carolina, the home of tonight's Southeast Region Championship.
Well, these are the nights that you dream about as a player. You know, two absolute titans coming together tonight, the number 1 and the number 2 seed in the region, and we couldn't have planned it any better than this.
Pfeiffer, the defending national champions, looking to become the first back-to-back champ since the year 2000, and we're underway here from Pride Park between the Falcons and the Bulldogs.
There was a lot of energy there from the start, and I think it showed. It was like 100 mile an hour, the ball going out. Not the best football, but everyone playing to the kind of the atmosphere that was created.
And you just saw the people from end to end, and the noise. It's unbelievable.
By far the best crowd seen here all year.
Yeah, the atmosphere is just absolutely electric right now. Both teams know what's at stake.
I knew we had one goal, which was to beat Pfeiffer, and I think a bunch of other boys did too. We all toned everything out. I mean, obviously we heard the crowd, who wouldn't? But we all toned it out and got to work.
You know, you've got two sets of fans going at each other and singing and chanting, and a very, very soccer atmosphere, which we've never had here before.
Hats off to our fans as well as the Pfeiffer fans. They made the atmosphere of that game unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Chance into the box, diving save by Pablo Jara.
You were just a little bit tired in that first half because they had possession of the ball. Just hearing the noise made you run a little bit faster.
A phenomenal first half of play, and Wingate and Pfeiffer, they head to halftime, all knotted up here at 0-0 in the Southeast Region Championship.
That was the message at halftime. You know, we deserve to be here. You know, it's going to take one moment of brilliance on either side, and, you know, we're right where we want to be.
It was quite calm. The gaffer told her, look, just keep doing what you're doing.
We've worked really hard and we're very, very hard to break down, and we've got to ride our luck, and some days you get it and some days you don't, and I think that night the luck was on our side, and obviously just working really hard the first half, we kind of knew like they've threw everything at us already.
When we went in 0-0 half time, personally, I don't know if everyone else felt this, but I felt quite calm after coming out for half time. We knew what we had to do.
Second half of action here in the Southeast Region Championship match. He catches it to the chest, leaves it off for Perez. The freshman, now he finds John Ander.
It was a counterattack, and I was facing 3 defenders.
There's only 2 things you can do really, stand and watch or make a run and hope he passes it to you.
And suddenly from my left behind the defender I saw Axel.
Ander scored 2 against Limestone.
Try get it towards goal so I could get a shot away, and that was improvisation that happened.
Hasn't been able to create much. Great chip by Axel Jewell. Jewell plays it up, and Jewell puts Wingate on the board. What a touch and what a finish by the senior.
I looked at the lineup and I say, that's a handball. And I see Axel doing that magic movement, and I say, goal. I say, yes, play on, play on.
And what a goal that was. Absolute brilliance shown by this Wingate attacking duo.
What he did was breathtaking.
Amazing.
Spectacular.
Magic.
I went wild, started running over at the crowd, and I got mauled by my teammates, so it was a great feeling, to be fair.
I mean, the defender didn't know what to do. The goalkeeper, he really didn't know what to do. So I think the only thing I could do was just in awe run and tackle him in the corner.
Everybody went crazy. I can picture it right now.
It was probably the longest 20 minutes of my 25 years here, because I knew what was coming. You know, I knew that Pfeiffer, well coached, great players, You know, and at that stage, the old cliche, we've got nothing to lose. You know, you're a goal down and your life and your season's pretty much over. So we knew it was coming in waves at us from every direction.
Those last like few minutes, you were just, this needs to end. But the time was just not moving.
He looks to chip one towards the edge of the 18. It's flicked on, into the box, coming on, shot fired, off the post.
You just have to work your butt off when you get to the ball because you don't want your defense getting pounded and pounded every play.
At that moment, every attack they threw at us, it was just rejected. Whether it was a slide tackle last second or it was Pablo coming up with an amazing save.
Great header by Moar keeps this chance alive, and now Moar leaves it off. Shot fired, Hara saves, diving save.
That was probably the longest 10 minutes of my life. Certainly the longest 10 minutes of my life as a coach.
A little too much here as Moore gets a rip, poked away by Hara.
We spent the last couple minutes of that game just defending with our hearts on our sleeves, and it paid off at the end.
This year, even though we were getting pegged back, the fans were still screaming and cheering for it, and I think it helped a lot. It kept us on with toes, it kept us concentrating, because it wasn't just for us, it was for them, it was for everybody who was there that day.
Last-ditch effort for the Falcons, and they go back towards midfield.
We've got to get the ball in the box.
Coming all the way up, he's going to send it in. Ball headed away, and the Bulldogs are your Southeast Region champions.
This is it. Like, we've passed what we've been waiting for. We've got that revenge, and it was just the emotion that came out naturally.
That feeling at the end of the game, running over the crowd, obviously I don't think anyone planned it. It just sort of happened. Just the emotions just oozed out of everyone. And
if you looking back and see and watch the game, you can see a family inside the field.
You know, it was difficult to try and keep their feet on the ground, but at the same time, I think at that point, then they were well aware of the fact that they were one game away from, you know, the ultimate, you know, the Final Four.
Obviously coming off that high of FIFA, it was such a great result and things like that, and to play so soon after, it was hard. It was hard on the legs, hard on the body. I mean, everyone was so tired.
Psychologically gave us an extra help knowing that we beat the best team in the nation. Once you beat the best team in the nation, everything comes easier.
This is the national quarterfinal. The #1 Wingate Bulldogs and the number 14 Tampa Spartans.
Going into it thinking, well, we have to win this, because I mean, we already put in this much work. We can't let this go to waste.
Feet of Nate Evans. He gets off a man. Evans shot fired over the crossbar, punched up by Richards. Back to Montpremier. He gets a shot. Hara goes up and gets it.
The same thing what we're trying to do every game is trust and believe in this family, believe in this group of the people.
45 minutes in the books. No score between these two sides.
Having Tampa here and having that 0-0 in the first half, just like Limestone, was just big because we knew that if we would defend well, then it would come.
I knew we were going at them. We were having counter, we were having attempts to score a goal, and we didn't score. And I knew that the goal was cooking. You know, when he's coming, and you know that he's coming.
Now Ander with the left foot. What a save by Richards.
And then I said, well, we need to do something.
John Ander with space.
In the counter attack, I saw Christian on the left, and I said, look, there's no positions, but let's have a shot.
Slows things down now, and he's going to take a rip at it, and John Ander finishes from distance. What an absolute laser off the left foot of John Ander, and Wingate's on the board.
I was a lucky shot, to be honest.
You know, obviously with Anders' goal and the go-ahead, then the relief and pressure, you know, relieves itself from the rest of the squad, and the defense takes over at that point. You know, you just don't concede.
And it's sent up in the air. And Wingate men's soccer is going where no Wingate team has ever been. They are on to the Division II Final Four with a 1-0 victory over the Tampa Spartans.
Finals in Kansas City, Missouri on December 1st.
Once we got to the hotel and we walked in and saw our names up on the banner, saw how nice the hotel was and everything, and all the welcome people for the NCAA, that's when it really hit me that we were in a Final Four and these were going to be the biggest days of our lives.
You go to this incredible and luxury hotel, you see the rooms, you see how everything is set up, you see how the atmosphere, you can breathe it there, is very special.
I loved being there, kind of showing the kids a bit about us, about the school, and like just helping them out in and around their school.
All the kids were great. They looked at us like we were superheroes, like proper celebrities, and seeing them like enjoying being with us was great.
Yeah, the lasting effect among the team, I think, was just the feeling of giving back.
I felt like one of them. I felt like I've been with them the whole year, and it was a perfect getaway from just forget about where we actually were. Going into the classroom was special because they were just asking for signatures and like for autographs, and it was just a very special moment to be able to actually be in that spot.
For me, I'm a kid still, no matter how old I am, and I think when I got to that school, I think I had more fun than the kids actually had, running around and interacting with them and listening to them read. It was a rewarding experience altogether. I guess it was just a moment and just seeing the kids, how excited they were. Because I know once I got back to my room and I watched the video, I was just as excited, and I was the one doing the trick. So it's just seeing their faces and how happy something so simple can make someone, and knowing that you did that for them, and it's a fantastic feeling.
Community service is part of what we do in Division II. However, for this group, I think it was a very special moment for them, because it was a realization for so many of our guys that these kids may not have an opportunity that they're about to have. Looking at those kids, I mean, we had a blast. I know what sort of personalities and characters we have, and I knew that they would embrace it and have a lot of fun with those kids.
It puts everything into perspective that we are extremely fortunate to have what we have, and there's a lot of kids around, even in this country, that don't have the opportunities that we have. So for us to, as a team, be able to experience that and be able to give back in whatever little way that we could to the kids that were there, it was very humbling.
1, 2, 3.
Stand-up was good. It was high tempo. I think everyone was just ready to play, and that training session just kind of helped boys relax, to be honest, because I think it needed just to kind of air out a little bit and get some of the energy out in that training session before when we played the semi-final.
That for me was the solidifying factor that told me in my mind, we're here. We've got a chance to do something special. The training session I thought was really, really good.
A pleasure being there, surrounded by so many talented athletes, people who are dedicated to their craft, to their sport. It was also very rewarding to be with the team and just to have that time with them, the fellowship, and it kind of makes the situation not so tense.
I think it's important for them to see a banquet situation like that. I thought it was a very, very proud moment for me. I thought we were the best dressed and best looking group there. And, you know, that's a pride thing for me. You know, I was proud of them, the way they looked and were all dressed together. I thought they were great ambassadors for the school, the athletic department. It was just a proud moment to be there with them.
I think the banquet was like definitely like a good part of the weekend for the boys, because I think it just made everyone a little bit more motivated.
We all just treated it as another game, another day. Everyone was nice and calm, nice and relaxed, just did a normal routine.
I don't believe in fate, and I do not believe in destiny. I truly believe that you will get what you work hard for and what you deserve in life, all right? And that's even today. Now we need to go out and prove it to ourselves. Everybody else will be happy for you. All those people last night will be happy for you. Today you have to do it for yourself and everybody in this room. It's that simple.
When he was giving us that speech, I remember just having my cleats on and I was like, let's go play, let's go play.
No time was ever nervous because I was confident in them.
We knew deep down that 5-4 was probably going to be the toughest challenge, and I think that prepared us well for that semi-final.
4 teams remain in contention here in Kansas City, Missouri for the NCAA Division II Men's Soccer National Championship.
Right after Sean's warm-up in the cones, and we were doing the fast, quick feet in the cones, that was when I was just like, wow, we made it here.
Go Bulldogs!
Go Bulldogs!
I think when I hear the national anthem, this is the moment when I say, oh, we are here and we are playing the Final Four, the semi-final. Say, wow.
We belong here, we have a chance at this, so we're just going to continue to go and do what we do best. We're going to play our game and go out and play the game plan that we've set out, and just take it 1 minute at a time.
The Tritons of UC San Diego taking on the #1 ranked team in the final poll here in D2, the Bulldogs of Wingate. And a shot into the back of the net. The Bulldogs have the opening strike here early on.
To score in the 3rd minute, it kind of just settles you down, and it just gives you a platform to play with.
I think it took a lot of weight off our shoulders. Like getting the early goal helped with relax, helped with play a little bit more than we think we should have.
My reaction was this one. And after this, I take all my nerves or everything out.
Just the same exact feeling as when Rossi scored against Limestone the first goal. It was just a relief.
45 minutes in the books here in Kansas City. The Bulldogs find the go-ahead goal from Soleil in the 3rd minute.
Once we score a goal, I have faith in myself and my teammates in the back, and especially all over the field, that we can keep that lead.
We changed nothing, and we continued to play the way we wanted to play, and that was to attack and wore them down. I mean, we wore them down. It's not like we sat in, you know, obviously full confidence in the back four, but we continued to play our normal game plan.
Again, Soleil briefly with a touch there, could not get that ball to settle at his feet. Now is given a gift from 19, the chip shot is in. 2 goals all year long for Soleil, and he has matched that here in the national semifinals. The countdown in Kansas City has begun. For the first time in the Bulldogs' history, they will be playing in the final match of the year. 1 win away from lifting the title here in Division II. Every men's soccer program throughout the country in NCAA Division II had December 3rd circled on the calendar as that the date of a national champion being crowned.
Enjoy the game, not the occasion, okay? Don't let that overshadow everything. We'll play it on our terms. We'll leave everything we got out there. The result will be ours.
big thing that we try to put across to the team was to enjoy the moment. Not many people get to experience playing in the national final and playing at that stage. So we really wanted the boys to enjoy it, but also just leave everything out there.
My life flashed before my eyes because I had worked all my life just to even step on that field.
Gotta win. We gotta win. It's one of those cases where you're not necessarily looking to be, the prettiest or play the best soccer, so to speak. You can, but it's really about getting the win whatever way possible.
Everyone knows we are making a history. Be in the final, in the championship game, was a history for this program.
You're 90 minutes away, and there was no doubt in our mind at that stage that we were the best team in the country, and we deserved to win it.
And now that's change coming for the Bulldogs. We mentioned we knew it would come. It was just a matter of when. And John Ander, the junior from Bilbao, Spain, now on the pitch. Ander, so impressive. 8 goals, 11 assists for a team leading 27 points.
I wanted to start the games, but coach told me that, we've been lucky, and why should I have changed? So you come into the game in the first 10 minutes in Brevard, and then we lose it. But when you come after 15 minutes, we haven't lost the game. So let's keep it that way. I said, you're the boss, you do it.
And that will put the Bulldogs up, just like that. And John Ander leading the charge for Wingate as they pursue their first national championship.
Knowing that you have a strong defense back, you are pretty confident that my job is to score goals, knowing that defense I have is easier for me.
That goal right before half sent us into the locker room, and we were just like, all right, just relax. We can relax now, and we can play our game, and we can do what we have to do.
After watching Charleston for 45 minutes from the side, it was like, again, if we do our job, then that's it.
Our chat with them at halftime was just continue to stay calm, continue doing what you're doing. It's effective, you're getting opportunities, you're getting chances on goal. Keep pushing forward, you're gonna get another one, it's gonna come.
Even numbers pushing forward. Ander looking for insurance, has it. A brace for the Spaniard.
What a goal from John Ander.
Sooner or later, the minutes were running. On Charleston, they needed to risk it. I just needed to wait patiently. When that ball came in the second half, I knew either I've put this goal and the final is ours.
Ander, the nail in the coffin of the Golden Eagles. This defense for Wingate so good. No one happier than Colm Ross on the far side.
That last 10 minutes is the biggest blow of the season, if I'm honest.
That clock, it felt like it slowed down. I kept glancing at the clock every 5 seconds.
As soon as he scored that goal, and I was like, this is it.
Somewhere around the 10-minute mark when I was close to the line, and Vicente asked me, was I all right? And I looked at him and I said, what do you mean am I all right? And he says, we got this one.
Final seconds counting down to a national championship for the Wingate Bulldogs. For the first time in program history, the national championship in men's soccer will reside in Wingate, North Carolina.
What a performance from Wingate. Didn't allow a goal the entirety of the NCAA tournament. A well-deserved championship for the Wingate Bulldogs.
I seen a bunch of the lads group together and start hugging and cheering, and I just had to join in. Tears in my eyes, nothing better. I couldn't have wished for anything better.
A whole bunch of emotions ran over me. So I went to Nell, and then I went to Pablo. I don't know, it all kind of hit me that I just won a national championship.
I just, goosebumps. I went to the floor, and when I went to kind of just celebrate, I started cramping a little bit and just felt that this is it, we've made it.
You can't actually describe it, the feeling that, I think it's the adrenaline that you know that you did it, you're a champion, and then you start to remember everything. You start to remember how beautiful this final is, how beautiful it is to see all your teammates smile.
You know, I think when I left Damien and Pablo in the 18, I sort of felt like I thought of Jimmy Valvano, because, you know, you remember he ran around like crazy, not knowing who to see. Well, I can't run around like he did, but I was sort of looking around, didn't know what to do. I had absolutely no clue.
It was one of the most gratifying moments of my life, without a question of a doubt. He has worked so hard for this university and for this program to get it to where it is. And for us to be able to help him achieve the goal that he's been after for so long, it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. It was one of the greatest things that I could give to him.
We remember we talk about coaches as well, how they deserve this moment, like more than everyone inside this locker room. I think them and Coach Gary is who deserve like this trophy.
Sheer delight, enthusiasm on the faces of those young men, just, you know, best moment of my life, really.
During the trophy raise, I was just enjoying the moment. Obviously the confetti, everything, sharing it with all my teammates, everyone jumping on each other.
The number one objective of coming to this university was to win the national championship, and then obviously with what turned out to be all three of our senior years, it was great to lift that trophy together. And I think it was, obviously you don't feel at the time, you just like, it's just pure emotion of just winning, feeling of winning is obviously the best feeling. And then looking back at the photos and the video of it, it was special.
Something that you dreamed of, and then when you live in it, you say, yeah, this is exactly how I dreamed it of.
Bulldogs are your 2016 NCAA Division II Men's National Champions.
It's amazing when you have that type of support, and it's almost like having an extra player on the field, so to speak. You often hear of teams saying that they had a 12th man, and I think that's the advantage we had over most teams during the season. Regardless where we went, you would always find Wingate supporters.
The support from the school, the support from my family was huge. I mean, I wouldn't be in this position today without my family.
It meant everything. Every time anybody said anything, especially Charlie Harper when he was out there.
It just shows you that they have the belief in us. So, and we kind of like built off that belief to go as far as we did. So it means the world to our team, to coach as well. It means everything.
Great support. Pfeiffer game here, like with 1,000 people, was unreal. So definitely the Wingate students or athletes have massive impact in our performance.
Welcome home, boys. Welcome home.
Stop sign, we're just going to turn left and stop.
Whoa!
Getting to see everyone standing out in the rain, they didn't have to do that. That was something that they chose on their own. They support us.
To actually be there when we got back, and the police escort, that was fantastic. That was just like the cherry on top.
Getting back onto campus with the police escort and having all the students meet us there was an unbelievable experience.
When people stand in the rain and to welcome us back in the police escort, and I think it was just again an example of the small university feel that the school's got, where I just think all the sports kind of came together and supported soccer.
It was huge to see the policemen, how they escorted us to the university, and then to see all the university students waiting for us just right in front of the calf was pretty special. You were in a cloud that you couldn't believe that what you achieved until you see that moment that you say, wow.
My heart goes out to them. I know every time I saw someone around campus and they said, congratulations, you're a national champions, I was like, no, we are. Because it took all of us to make it happen.